Hey guys, I think I'm live. I am here with ScentedSlimeByAmy and Crafty Slime Creator, Alyssa J, and we are here talking about. Guys, I think I'm live. I am here with ScentedSlimeBy. Okay, I hear myself playing back, so I have to pause my video. We are here talking about all things entrepreneurship and slime, and who better to join us than the lovely Amy from ScentedSlimeByAmy. She is a hugely Hi, Amy. Thanks for joining us today.
No problem.
Hey, Alyssa.
Hey, I'm so excited to talk about this. This has been a topic we have discussed so much, and I'm just so excited to dive into this with you guys.
Yeah, and hey guys, thanks for hanging out while we resolved our technical difficulties. We are Slimers. We are not technical experts, so we appreciate you waiting and hanging out in the chat. So let's do a quick intro here. We added Amy because we both feel like she is such a great example of someone who's created an awesome brand, who runs a huge business successfully while juggling a million other things. So we've brought Amy on today to help answer your questions about entrepreneurship and slime. Hello, Amy. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm probably the oldest Slimer in the slime community, around there, maybe. I'm not sure who's older than me, but I also started it back when it like really just began. So I feel like I've been here through all the ups and downs and all the changes. And I've adapted, you know, every couple months I see something new starting up and just have to adapt, always, ever changing.
One thing I was curious about, and I know Alyssa's a bit of an OG as well, you both are, how has running a slime shop changed from the very beginning to now? I mean, where have you come from like day one?
You know, from day one, the one thing that stayed the same is my containers. And we'll decline that. But everything else has changed, from labels, from paying for promoting myself on Etsy, to creating friendships and being part of a community instead of just I'm this one-man person that doesn't know anyone else in the slime community on Instagram. So now it's completely different. Everything is different. And I'm sure 6 months from now, it may be different from what it is right now. Yeah.
It's an ever-changing business. And I haven't been in it quite as long as you guys have, but I noticed from the trends to just the way we market our businesses, it's changing completely every day. We'll dig into all these details as we go throughout the show today, but let's kind of kick off our first topic, and I'm going to have Alyssa do that. Go ahead, Alyssa. Let's dive right in.
Great. So our first topic is how we're starting in Instagram. So I want to just talk about how and why we actually started our accounts. So I'll go first and talk a little bit about that. I started my account because honestly, I was bored. It was the summer before grade 10, I think, and I had nothing to do. I was just, we were redoing my room and I was sitting at home and bored. So I just went in the basement and made some slime. And I posted my first video on Instagram because, you know, that's what all the kids do these days. We just post what we like to do. So I posted it and it just kept growing and growing. And of course it was very, very slow at the beginning, but at one point it just started like snowballing, and then now I'm here, which is totally crazy, but that's how I started. It was just because I was kind of bored and I wanted to do a craft, and slime was there for me. So what about you guys?
Go ahead, Amy.
Okay, so, well, you know, now that you just said that, Alyssa, your video of your slime may be the first one I saw.
Oh my God.
Probably like September of 2016. I had a habit of reading books on my iPad, but also if I got tired of the book, I would switch to Instagram, which I had an Instagram account, which mainly focused on my bulldog Faith and my family and just me, just like a regular account. And I would go to the explore page, saw slime on there, and I was like, ooh, what's that? I'm like, I consider myself a crafty person. So I saw it and I was like, oh, that looks really cool. And I love the sounds it's making. And I know it's like ASMR, and I already knew what ASMR was at that point. and I knew slime had some relation to it. So I was instantly intrigued, and probably within, I would say, 2 weeks, I had my account up and running from the day I saw that first slime video.
So I have a question. Did you know that you wanted to have a business, or was this just a fun thing?
Well, when I first saw the slime video and decided to turn it into a business, I was selling nail decals on Etsy. So I was familiar with Etsy at that point and kind of how it worked and how to search for something if you were looking for something. So when I saw the first slime video, I was like, oh, you know, I want to make that. Let me see if I can turn it into a business, and let me see if anyone else is selling slime. So I just did a search on Etsy for slime. There was maybe, I want to say, between 20 and 30 people selling at that time. And you can imagine how many people are on Etsy selling slime now. So 20 to 30 accounts. And I said, wow, people are selling it. I looked at their sales and I said to my fiance, I'm going to do this. I can do this. There's no way I shouldn't or can't.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, well, Alyssa, what about you? I mean, before I jump to another topic about that, same for you, or was it just like, I'm going to do this because it's fun and I'm bored? I mean, when did you decide you're going to make a business out of it?
So it's a really funny story, actually, what happened. So I had slime everywhere in my room. I started at the end of August 2016, beginning of September, around there. And I had tons of slime everywhere because I was, of course, making a ton of videos and posting the slime, but I just kept it all just sitting on my shelves. And my mom came in my room one day and was like, Allie, you got to stop this. There's so much slime everywhere. And I was like, no, I love this slime and I want to keep doing it. And she was like, well, what are you going to do with it all? It's just everywhere. And I was like, well, why don't I sell it? And then she was like, oh, okay. But then she made me make a business plan and like really think everything through. And we had to go through so much before I actually started. But in October of 2016, I started selling slime because I just wanted to keep making more slime. And that was just like my logic. I was like, if I want to make more slime, I got to sell this slime so then I can make more slime. And then it just snowballed from there.
That is 100% why I started selling slime. My story is kind of like Amy's. Like like a lot of moms, especially moms of little girls, like mine wanted to make slime. They had seen some things on YouTube where like people were covering like little action figures in slime and they wanted to do that. And it was like a complete disaster. I used non-PVA glue and I was like, I'm going to make the most beautiful slime you've ever seen. It was like these weird little glitter glues that didn't have PVA in them. And I was just like squirting all the colors in a bowl. And I added my saline solution and like poured in the baking powder. It was a mess. So I ditched that. I was like, we are not making this. So I can sympathize with my fans and followers when they're like, my mom won't let me make it. I'm like, I have been there. But
I can relate. My first batch of slime turned into a grape scented purple concrete ball. I had no idea what I was doing. My activator was way too strong. Yeah, it was not cute.
I know. Yeah, I tried clear slime first, and it was just like, you know how hard clear slime can be. And I made it, and I was like, why isn't it clear? I was so confused. I was like looking at it, and it looked like a gray blob, and I was like, this is gross and nothing like what I want it to be.
You guys, I threw away so many batches of clear slime because I didn't realize it needed time to clear. It's like, think of all those amazing clear slimes out there. I threw it in the trash.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I discovered it as a way to fall asleep. This was after I ditched it making it for the kids. So I found it as just like a relaxation thing on Instagram. I found some Korean accounts, and the first American account I found was Ashley, My Happy Hobby Slimes. And I was like, I'm going to, my background is in TV and I like making videos. So I'm going to make some slime videos for relaxation. So I never thought about selling it until I had acquired so many slimes that I was like, I think I need a way to offset the expense of making them. So I started a shop. And I started it pretty soon after I had opened my Instagram, which honestly, we're going to get to this topic a little bit later, but I do want to plant the seed in both of your heads. When and why do you start your shop? Is it better to wait until you have a lot of followers, or do you start right away like I did? And we'll jump into that in a minute. but I want to talk about creating a brand for yourself, because backing up to starting an Instagram page, let's talk about usernames, because a lot of people ask me that question. It was a question that came up in my post, which I'm going to read right now.
Sorry to interrupt for one sec. I think to have the screen switch, so one of us is bigger, I think you have to click it, Erin. Sorry guys, technical things we're trying to figure out. This is our first time with 3 people in Slimey Sundays. It's so much fun. Did it change? It's not changing for mine, but maybe it's just me.
I see you on screen now. I have to manually switch you guys?
I think you do.
Okay.
Yes. So you have to manually switch between us whenever we're talking. Sorry, guys. We're just figuring this out, but yeah.
Good times with technical difficulty, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. So back to what I was saying, let's talk about usernames. How do you decide? I had a question on my latest post about, do you think your username affects how many followers you get? And I thought this was a really interesting question, how you decide, because I've noticed there are a lot of people with the same username. There are some people with usernames that have nothing to do with slime. Which one of you guys wants to dive into this question? Because I think it's worth discussing.
Yeah, I can definitely start off with this. I have strong feelings about this. I did, in one of my videos where I did like tips for slime, I went on and on about usernames, because I think they are very important, because it's one of the first impressions that people get of your account. So especially in the slime community, it's so big, and it's really huge. So it's really hard to get noticed, and you want people to know immediately what you're all about. And if you're all about slime, then your username should reflect that. So I think it should be between 2 to 3 words, and it should, one of them should definitely be slime. So, you know, mine, Crafty Slime Creator, ScentedSlimeByAmy, like stuff like Slimeonade stand, they all have slime in it, definitely. There are some accounts that don't have slime in it, like Moon Cotton or accounts like that. But I really think if you want to break out right now in the slime community, it's really important to have one of those words be slime, and then another one be what makes you stand out. So for example, Parakeet Slimes, you know that she likes parakeets and she likes slime, and that's what makes her stand out. And she has slimes that are named after her parakeets and things like that. So I think you should, and Amy, for example, she has Scented Slime by Amy. You know she makes a lovely scented slimes that smells so, so good, right? So you want to make your name. Yeah.
In that regard, I wanted to change my name so many times, because back when I started, there weren't a lot of slime accounts on Instagram. And I sat there for a good day going over what I could name my account. And at that time, scented slimes weren't a huge thing. There was people just making slime that was pink or blue, no scent. And I felt like I was one of the first to add scent. So I wanted to have that in my name. But many, many times I wanted to change it. It's too long. It's just basically explaining what I do in my name. I wanted a cuter, shorter name. But yeah, the word slime should be in there. And if you can avoid a lot of underscores and dots, because that can get like confusing and, you know, kind of make you look like you just took whatever was available instead of really trying to put a lot of thought into it and getting a name you want. Although at this point, there aren't a lot available. So the underscores and the dots kind of, they're inevitable. But, you know, if you're starting now, try to come up with a name that is catchy, cute, without a lot of all that extra jazz, you know?
Exactly. And I kind of regretted mine for a really long time. I've grown to like it, but when I made mine, I like Crafty Slime Creator. I make crafty slime and I create things. And so it doesn't really tell you much about what I do, but I really love names that are really catching. And for example, I know someone who's in the chat, Wanderlust Slimes. Like, I love that. It's so gorgeous, so nice. It's a great name, but like, I wish I had done that. It's too late in the game now for me to change it. But for you guys, I totally recommend doing a name that don't put extra letters. So don't put like 4 S's at the end of it, and don't do things like that. Just try to find something. I know it's going to be really hard. Instead of maybe 2 words, try to do 3 or even 4, but just try to make it unique and not too no underscores and things like that, you know?
Yeah.
The other thing I would point out too is try to stay away from copyrighted names or brand names. I mean, you may be a huge fan of Disney, but if your slime business blows up and you have a website called Disney Slimes, you know, Disney being the juggernaut that it is going to come after you for copyright infringement. Not to rain on anyone's parade, but it does happen. So you want to maybe stay away from that. You can always do some one-off slime restocks where you do some Disney-inspired slimes. But if you plan on taking your business to another level, or start a website, or eventually trademark your brand name, you definitely want to kind of steer away from that and keep it more unique yourself, which I think is a good general rule for, you know, any slime business. You want to make it stand out as you, which honestly, that's kind of my next topic here, is how to make your products stand out as yours. You know, so many of us get attached to these iconic slimes we see. You know, every kind of successful slime shop seems to kind of have like their iconic slime. And I get asked that a lot, like, how do I make an iconic slime? I want people to recognize me for having an icon. What do you guys think?
I thought like my iconic slime was kind of milk and honey because people knew me by it. But I don't think I've even reached that status of having one slime that I was known for. So yeah, I'd like to know how to do that to give me some advice.
Yeah, totally true. When I had my account, one of my iconic slimes, or when I had my shop, I should say, one of my iconic slimes, I made this really gorgeous gold slime. And way back when I had my shop, not a ton of people were making gold slime. So now obviously that's not true. There's tons and tons of people who do. But I would say to really make something your own. Like, I know obviously you can't create a new texture, but if you can do something really interesting with it, like, for example, Jayla from, I believe, Slime Hut, I can't remember the exact name, but she makes a really nice white glue slushy slimes, and that's really made her stand out. So try and focus on something that you can do really well. Like, we all know Snoop Slimes is known for her clear glue slimes. And so just try to focus on something that you can do well, and then really talk about it a lot and make really satisfying videos of it. Because I found that the slimes that people knew me best by were the slimes on my account that had the most amount of views, because I didn't know if it was my favorite slime. Like, I used to have this foam it was a dark blue and it was really pretty, and people really loved it, and it got a lot of views on my account, and that correlated into sales for me, because when people saw the video, they wanted to buy the slime. So I find the more views that a slime gets, the more popular it is for me. But that was back when I was selling, so I don't know if the same is still true.
Yeah.
Jumping into a different topic along those lines, I think, you know, there's only so many textures you can invent. I think packaging is really important. And I know Amy's packaging, you look at it and you know immediately it's a Scented Slime by Amy slime. You've got the consistent labels, you've got your name, you've got the, you know, a different design for every slime. They're very recognizable. So I like the idea of, you know, not necessarily following what everyone does. Like, feel free to go ahead and look for something unique that will make your product stand out. And, you know, different from everyone else's, still high quality container, but, you know, find something to make it yours.
Yeah, my labels, and that is something that I've had from the very beginning. And I feel like that was definitely unique at that time. There's a lot of people that put labels on the front like I do now, and I love them. I think they're some of the coolest labels I've ever seen. I was just looking at, is it Yuki? Momo Yuki? She has the coolest labels. I was checking out her account the other day, and I was blown away. And she hand draws them all too. Yeah,
I have one here. I should go grab it and show you guys. It is so cool. Really cool.
Yes, I totally agree with that. But I know there's a newer account called Putty Egg, and they have really, really cool packaging, and that really made them stand out to me, because I was like, wow, that's so cool. No one was doing that. And they don't put it in containers. They have baggies and little, like, packages. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but that really made them stand out. So if you can find something like that that makes you stand out, maybe a different type of container, different type of label, packaging, you have some sort of card that you include with your slimes. You'll have maybe handwritten thank you cards to all your customers, or something that really makes you unique.
Yep, agreed. And let's talk about face reveals and getting on your story and getting your followers to know you as a person. I mean, we've kind of talked about like creating a brand for your products. I know some people, like myself, I'm always on my story. I think I've like revealed my face like pretty much immediately, and immediately people were like, "Whoa, you are old." And I was like, I am old. Anyway, anyone, any age can make slime, but I know, you know, as somebody who has young children, I don't really want my daughters showing their faces on Instagram. So I don't think it's a necessity, but I would be curious for both of your thoughts on, you know, engaging with your followers as a person, as the person behind your username. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Alyssa.
So that's something I definitely need to work on. That's one of my things that I don't do that much, because I am a very private person and I'm pretty shy. I know I don't necessarily seem like it, but I am a pretty shy person, or at least I feel like I am. And so it was really hard for me to start revealing more about myself. Like sometimes I wouldn't even answer the questions I put in my caption. I would just put them out there and see what everybody else would say, but I didn't even say my thoughts. But I really think it's so important to get to know people on a personal level. And like when people DM me and stuff, I love chatting with people, but I get so nervous sometimes when I'm posting. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to all these people. And like when I'm on my story and stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I putting out there? And sometimes I feel like I need to be perfect, but I feel like it's really important to show your vulnerability, and, you know, you're not perfect, and that you need to be realistic. You know, you show when you make slime fails. You're not a perfect slime maker, and you have to show all of your learning, and, you know, you're relatable. You're not perfect, you're a human, right? And I think that's so important. And even in the slime community, across all of Instagram, it's important to be realistic and not just put the perfection out there. I know I posted my slime fails before, and sometimes it's a bit awkward because people are like, oh, you failed. How are you writing a book about slime? And how are you, like, if you failed before? But everybody fails, and it's totally normal. And I think that's so important that people find you relatable, because I'm rambling now, but that's my thoughts on that. What about you, Amy?
I mean, if you've ever watched my story, I never talk and I never show my face. I may show like a still photo of me occasionally, but I have a really bad self-consciousness about my looks and my voice. So I'll do reviews with no speaking. I'll just put little, you know, captions. It's just me. I mean, it's not about me wanting to hide my face or who I am. It's just a self-conscious thing. But like, look, I'm doing this today, so I can get past it, but I just prefer to not show myself. But I do show a lot of my personal life in my story. I never, you know, as I'm about to like record something for my story, I never say, oh, that's my personal life. That's my house. That's my living room. I'm not going to show that. Or that's my staff, or my son who's 19. I mean, he's not a little kid. So that I'm very open with. You could see, you know, everything that's going on in my life. Me personally, my hair may be in a bun that day and I look terrible. And a person that comes to mind that never cares is Marissa from Parakeet. And I love watching her stories because she's making goofy faces and she's making fun of herself, and she's adorable. And I think she drew a lot of people in by being real and not caring. Oh, I don't have makeup on. I have a pimple on my cheek. You know, who cares? And I applaud her. And that's like who I actually aspire to be more like. Show myself, you know, in vulnerable positions where I don't look great. But yeah, I mean, it's a personal choice to show your personal life or your actual, you know, face. Definitely.
Exactly.
It's really up to you.
And I know that there were some people in the chat that said, Slimy philosophy, not everyone can show their face. Maybe, you know, if your parents don't want you to show your face, then definitely listen to your parents. Right. My mom didn't want me to show my face on my account for a very long time. She said, just my hand. And she's my mom, and she obviously wants what's in my best interest. So so listen to your parents, of course, they're first and foremost. But eventually I did show my face, and you just have to also be vulnerable, show what you're doing, show your personality, but also be safe online. Don't show anything, don't accidentally show an address on your package and things like that. Don't just randomly send people your addresses.
I have a funny story. So I started, since I've been in business a long time, I've collected all the email addresses from people that have ordered from me. And I use MailChimp to keep them, you know, sorted and collected, so to speak. So you can send a mass email out, an email blast using the emails from people that have bought from you. And my full-time girl, I put her in charge of it. She made this beautiful long email, pictures of new slimes, whatever. And at the bottom of it, when it got sent out to almost 20,000 people, it had my home address on the bottom. I was like,
oh no.
Oh, no.
I have made that MailChimp mistake myself. It's easy to do. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we fixed it, but it was a lesson learned. We laugh about it. Obviously nothing bad happened. You know, I have my fiance here to protect us if something someone ever showed up. But I've had strangers come to my house that have said to me, I live near you. Can I pick up slime? My daughter loves you. Can we meet you? And I've let them come over. And my sister's like, oh, aren't you scared? I'm like, yeah, I'm a little weirded out, but you know what? It's a slime community. And if you love slime and you live nearby, I'll meet you. I'm like, I throw caution to the wind in that respect. Maybe I shouldn't, but like, come on over. Open
yeah. I mean, I think what we're all saying is there is no right answer for this. I think the one takeaway we can say is always be safe online. Don't give away your personal details. One time I did a live stream and my daughters literally said, this is our address. You guys can come over. And fortunately, I mean, there's maybe 30 people on my live at that point, but yeah, you know, you want to be careful about that. But I think the main thing we're saying is you can let your followers get to know you without showing your face or giving away personal details that, you know, might put your safety at risk. You can have people get to know the person behind the slimes without, you know, without doing that. You just wanted them to know that, you know, you're there, you care about the product. You're there if they get the product and they want to ask you questions about it or they have issues with it. The other day, someone had their friend send me a message because they weren't happy with something they got in their package. And I said, I don't bite. You can message me. I'm not going to be mad. Like, I'm here. I'm a person just like you. So I think that's important. Let's see. Should we take any more questions from the live stream chat? I, unfortunately, am having trouble accessing the chat because I'm the controller behind the cameras here. So Amy and Alyssa, what do you guys see out there that interests you?
I saw a really good question from Mia from Wanderlust Slimes. Oh, here it is. What's the best way to advertise your products and really get your business out there? I thought that was really interesting. If either of you want to take that question, what do you think about advertising your slime?
I mean, I don't use any traditional advertising at all besides my Instagram account, to be honest with you. I mean, occasionally I will post it on my personal Facebook page that usually just goes to like suburban moms like me. But, you know, I have found that the best way to have a successful restock, and I've just noticed this just through trial and error, is that you can't advertise your restock the day you're having it. You need to give some time to build up some views on your videos or your story. I always find that when I play with my slimes on my story and I talk about them or I put text up on screen and describe them, then people get a better sense from just the feed video. So I always try to do restock videos on my story where I actually am sitting there with the slime, playing with it, talking about what it smells like and what it feels like. So almost like they're having, they're kind of experiencing the slime through me on my story. And that always seems to help with my restocks. I always have success that way. What about you, Amy?
I don't do restocks. I don't know.
Oh, right.
You right? That's
right. I forgot about that.
My shop is stocked 24/7. But when I come out with a new slime, you have to promote it by showing it, a dedicated post on your feed. But if anyone is like me, when I go to Instagram, I may look at the first video that pops up, but then my eyes go directly up to the stories. And I'll click through stories before I will swipe through the feed. So stories are definitely like number one. Everyone wants to see what you're doing that day, what you've got new. And then I will create, I don't have a lot of time for filming, and that's my fault. I should dedicate more time to actual dedicated videos about my slime. But I get like bored or something. I don't know. Like I want to like film something cool instead of my slime, but I'll create a graphic that says 3 new slimes and what they look like, what they're scented like, and photos of them swirled, photos of them in the jar, to get people, give them a sense of what that slime is like. But I still have a lot to learn. I may not do things exactly correctly the way everyone else does. But I like the way I do it because it works for me in my schedule. Like, I made 2 slimes before we started this live stream, but I have to make the labels and then I have to photograph everything and get it listed. So everything takes time. When that's all done, do I want to go film a video of the slime too? No, I want to sit on my couch and pet my dog or make dinner for my family or do a load of laundry. And then I'm like, I missed my opportunity to show off the slime. And a lot of people are like, oh, can I see what it looks like? And I'm like, oh yeah, I got to make a video. And then I'm like, get sidetracked again. So it's a tough balancing your life and how to promote a slime you made or a restock. But I think that a lot of people are doing it right. Like Erin said, a couple days before your restock, mention it, say what's in it, show videos of it. The day before, the day of, now they have that timer thing that I saw Slime Obsidian doing, and Parakeet too. So that's cute. That's like giving people that countdown to look forward to.
Yeah, and it also helps for, we're always doing these restocks against many time windows. I'm 2 hours behind you, or I'm 3 hours behind you guys. So, for like the international people that are watching, they're like, I have no idea what time 1 p.m. PST is. I don't even know what PST is. So you can throw up the timer and people have enough time to figure it out. I want to pose a question that we got on my Instagram post from Slime Jellies that I thought was really interesting. I think all of us can relate to this, including people who don't have shops. What are some of the ways you've had to adapt your business practices to adjust to the ever-changing Instagram platform and the algorithm? How do we get viewers here when not everyone is seeing our posts? Who wants to tackle this one first? Because I have a lot to say about it. I'm curious what you guys have to say about it, and I'm sure everyone in the chat is curious too.
Go ahead, Alyssa.
So I don't have a slime business anymore. It just wasn't working. Not that it wasn't working. I just really wanted to focus on the creativity. I know Amy mentioned, after making so many slimes, you don't really want to sit down and film a video. If you're tired and you just want to relax, right? And I found it was kind of, at times it was sucking the fun out of it for me. So I decided, for me personally, I just wanted to make slime and make creative videos. Like, that's just what I wanted to do at the time. And it's really working out well for me, because I feel like I'm enjoying slime a lot more than when I did when I was making it to sell it, because that's just personally what was my situation. And what I found for the Instagram algorithm, I haven't cracked it. I've been losing followers all month. And I've kind of been fine with that. In all honesty, I am posting what I like and enjoy. And for me, slime isn't about the followers. And like, I know that's a annoying thing to say, but it's just like, I reached my unattainable goal for my account was 100,000 followers. Like, that was completely insane to me. And I've kind of just been like, I want to post when I want to post. And if I lose followers when I post, that sucks. But I don't really care as much anymore. I get a bunch of DMs on the daily saying, oh my gosh, you're losing followers. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I am not sure. It's as much as I can blame the Instagram algorithm, also you need to make sure you're posting consistently, and that'll really help with your business as well. And I find at times we blame the algorithm for a lot of things, but sometimes you just gotta forget about it and focus on the slime and focus on what you enjoy doing, because some people, their accounts are still growing fine. Some people, it's negatively affecting their accounts. And there's never a way that you can predict what's going to happen with the algorithm. It's always changing, and it's just so frustrating. Believe me, I know. But you just have to really decide to focus on what you enjoy and engage with the followers who are showing up for you, who are commenting. And I am rambling now. So Amy, do you want to talk about your...
No, I'm listening. Well, personally, I lost 5,000 followers in the last month. And I know that it's my fault. I mean, for the most part, because I lost my dog, and I was kind of paralyzed at home. I just couldn't. I didn't want to make slime. I didn't want to post videos. I didn't want to post on my story. I wanted to just grieve and mourn. And we got a new puppy, and that really took all of my time, the training and constant watching. So over the time that I didn't post for maybe 5 weeks, I saw my follower count go down every single day. And, some of my videos that I post, even before this and the ones I just posted recently, they aren't my slime. It could be a science-y type of video. It could be a tire crushing video. That one of my videos has almost 3 million views, and Snapchat used it as the cover video for their satisfying channel. I don't even have Snapchat.
Me.
So, I'm posting the videos that I like to watch. So if I'm on my explore feed and I'm seeing, ooh, that looks cool, that thing's like bubbling over, or that made a cool sound, or I'll write it down, make this type of video. And I'm not even doing it for the views. At this point, I don't care how many views I get. I don't care if I'm losing a follower, then that follower wasn't for me. If Instagram is removing that follower, or that person is unfollowing me, whatever it may be, because I know sometimes Instagram cleans up and they'll wipe out tons of people. So whether Instagram's doing it or the person's unfollowing me, I don't care. They'll be replaced with someone else that says, oh, I like her videos, or I like her style, or I like her slime, what she makes. So to me, you can't get hung up on those views. Once you start getting hung up on those views, then it becomes like a ever consuming, oh my God, I'm not doing good enough. Oh my God, that video only got 3,000 views when I used to get 30,000 views, or, whatever on your scale. You can't worry about that. You just have to keep putting out what you like, put a link to it. You post a new video, copy it to your story. So people that watch your story more than your feed will see your video there. But yeah, I used to be the one that was like, wow, I put all this effort into this great video. No one's seeing it. Why? And I stopped.
Exactly.
That was bad for my spirit, so to speak.
Exactly.
So now I post when I want. I'll put a caption up that I want, I know a lot of people will do like an interactive question of the day, or type out the word slime without getting interrupted. And I love that stuff. It's cool. It draws people in. I stink at that. I'm not going to lie. I'll just put what I want in the caption and some hashtags and call it a day. I'll go back to it, I'll stick with it for the first 20 minutes, like what comments I see. And then I'm like, all right, I got to go do this now. And I'll go back and I'll be like, oh, that one went kind of viral. And they're like, oh, that one went nowhere. Who cares?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I see a comment in the chat from from Bhavani. She is Randy's Crafty Slime Creations, and she said, how do you grow your account after you've been active, consistent, sent countless reviews, have a decent feed, lighting? She posts every day and interacts with her followers. She posts on her story, and honestly, I have 800,000 followers, and sometimes I feel the same way. I haven't been posting consistently, but everybody feels that way. Don't think it's just you, girl. It's everybody.
You know what it is, Alyssa? As you're also, as a slime account, you want to be the one to come up with a new texture. You want to be the one to come up with something that no one else has done. It's the same thing with videos. You want to film something that people are like, oh, I haven't seen that before. That looks really cool. And it goes viral. It goes on the explore page. And now people are seeing it that don't know anything about you, don't follow you. But it's so hard. And it puts a lot of pressure on you to be the one that's being innovative all the time. And you can't always do it. It's, I mean, how do you avoid feeling that pressure?
Yeah. I mean, I always say to my followers and fans that ask me this question, you have to remember why you got into slime in the first place. And the minute that slime starts making you feel inadequate or depressed or not enough, then you need to kind of sit back and take stock of why you're doing this. And that happens for me. You know, I got a million things going on in my life, but if I post a video I think is really cool and it flops and no one comments on it, then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm making it worse. This is terrible. Oh my gosh. And it's you know, that's silly, you know, because it just might be that everyone was eating dinner when it popped up and, you know, no one's seeing it because, you know, I didn't put a question of the day on there. And, you know, it's like, that's just silly. I mean, the truth is, we're never going to navigate this algorithm. It changes every day because Instagram wants to, you know, they want a successful app and there's certain ways they want to do that. And, you know, we can try, but honestly, at the end of the day, you got to remember why you decided to make a slime account. If it was to make a ton of money and become a slime millionaire, then sure, you want to, you know, try and navigate that, find other ways to market yourself. But if it's to make friends and have a successful experience, then, you know, get back to basics, follow what Amy said, and everything else will come naturally. You know, for me, I'm like, I got to hit that 100K mark so I can be invited as a VIP to a slime convention. And that's goofy. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Honestly, you can have a great experience doing whatever. You're selling it out of your driveway, which was my daughter's original idea for the Slimeonade stand, which, going back to the username thing, you guys would be so surprised how many people think my username is slime on a D stand. Slime on a D stand.
Yeah, and if one big tip I really have is, you know, really focus on the people who are already on your account. Really appreciate every single one of those people. If you can, reply to every single comment you get, and like just take the time to thank them for watching, to ask them a question, to engage with them, because those are the people that want to see what you're doing. And if you know, if your videos aren't getting on the explore page and your videos aren't being seen, what you can do is you can go into hashtags and you can comment on posts. I'm not saying please don't be spammy and don't say follow me, all that stuff. That's very annoying for a lot of people. What you need to do is you need to watch the video, read the whole caption, and say something insightful. Say, I really loved how you chose these two colors and mixed them together. That's such a great color combination. And it's anything you want to comment on that, because that's how you're going to meet people and make friends, and you can reach out to those people. Instead of them finding you through the explore page, they're finding you through your really thoughtful comment. So that's a tip I have.
That's a good
I think that's a great tip. And I do that from time to time too. And honestly, I have a lot of, I love discovering new content too. So I'll go searching for it, or I'll post, you know, tag your favorite underrated account. And you would not believe how many great slime accounts I have found through that. Or like Alyssa said, some of my closest friends. I mean, Amy, I think you and I became friends through, like, I commented on your post or you commented on mine, and we found some common ground and quickly realized we had a lot in common. We were friends and hand twins. Yeah, I mean, honestly,
it's cold right now, so that makes me
We are at the 12 o'clock mark, and I know we started late, but there were a couple of questions I really wanted to make sure we got to that I thought were worth discussing. And I think both of you are really well equipped to answer these questions. Talking about a slime account that is focused toward just slime as satisfying video content, and a slime account that is geared toward a shop that sells slime. And can both of these things be successful? Do you have to have a slime shop to have a successful slime account? And I think, Alyssa, you've experienced this firsthand. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience?
Definitely. There is, I'm not going to lie, there's a big, big difference between having an account that's meant for selling slime and promoting your slime, and then having an account that's just dedicated to posting creative content. A big thing for me is that since I'm not selling slime, I am not making any money off slime. I am not, to buy the actual supplies and things, I have to, I don't have any money that I'm getting in from selling my slime. So there's a big thing, and I feel guilty if I want to make a big batch of slime, because I'm like, what am I going to do with this slime? I'm not selling it to anybody, so I'm just going to keep it all to myself. And so that's one big thing that I thought about for a really long time. I was like, how am I going to do this and be able to make the slime still? And that's just the biggest thing that I've found. But I found that I can reuse slimes almost and make them and turn them different, like do a little slime makeover to the slime and post it again a different way and things like that. And you just have to get more creative with your slime videos, I would say. You just gotta try different things, and you have more time to actually make creative videos, which is really great. But the downside of trying to grow your account while it's creative is that, you know, when people buy your slime, they do reviews of your slime, and then you get on other accounts, and that's how people can find you as well, right? But when you're just a account posting creative content, that you don't have that. So you have to really be creative. Like, for example, Mona Lisa Slimes. She doesn't have a shop, I believe, and she has such creative slimes, and that gets her on the Explore page, and that is what makes her known in the community. And you really, really, really have to have something like that if you're not selling slime, in my opinion, because that's one of the only ways to really get out there, is to really have something that makes you stand out. And that's my opinion on it. So what about you guys?
I mean, like, my account is to promote my shop, but I use it to post anything I want. If it's a cool science experiment, if it's me playing with, or, you know, showing off a slime that I just made for fun, that I'm never going to sell. Like yesterday's video was a layered floam, a rainbow layered floam. I will never sell.
Can I just say how gorgeous that was, Amy?
It was
that
so
was
pretty.
So pretty. Oh my God.
I love that one. I was like, I hope she sells it.
I know. And a lot of people are wanting me to sell it. And I mean, I'd love to. But like, you know, that's the thing. My account is to promote my business, but I'm using it to do what I want with it as well. So to each his own, you know, if you want your account to just promote your shop, then only show your slimes, but you may not grow that way. You kind of have to reach a whole bunch of different people to keep your account relevant. Your slime you show, a review, or a creative video, you know, creative content showing off an experiment you did.
Yeah.
So yeah.
A couple of comments.
Mine's a mixed bag. I've never been concerned with the aesthetics of my feed, how, you know, some people want it to be all a certain color scheme. Mine is a mess, but it's my mess, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And too much pressure to try to change that now. So I'm going to stick with it.
And I see a couple comments in here. So from Rainbow Playmaker, she said that I feel the key is to have engaged followers, and it takes a ton of work to respond and engage with your audience, but she feels like that has helped her a lot, and I definitely agree with that. Like, I always see Marjorie Price comments, and she has her great Willet Slime series and all of those things that really make her stand out, and she's known for her awesome clear slimes, and so that really makes her stand out. So you have to do things creatively and try to make series of videos that people keep wanting to come back for. Like, I know when you did a couple tire crushing videos, Amy, I always wanted to see them. I was like, oh my gosh, what's it going to be? It was so cool. And there was another comment that I've seen a couple times, and it's, how do I get people to choose my shop over someone famous? And I really think it's a hard question to answer, because you I try to think of it in terms of, not that they're famous, but they do have a bigger shop and they have more exposure. But you just have to really comment and talk to the people who are already following you, and it's really important. It's more important to have a small following with really engaged people than to have a bigger one with people who aren't as engaged. So you just have to really connect with the people who are already following you and really build a relationship there, and try not to compare yourself with bigger accounts, manage your expectations in that sense.
Well,
What about you?
I'm guilty of that too. I'm a big account, but I feel like my competition is bigger accounts. How do I get people to choose my slime over other people as well? So no matter what scale you're on, everyone's kind of going through the same thing, the same doubts, or, well, I make a slime that's great. Why does that person sell out every time they restock, but I can't sell my slime? Same. So it's really just about showcasing your slime on your Instagram story or feed. And even if you're selling on Etsy, make sure your pictures of your slime are clear. You've cropped them. You've gotten rid of all the background noise. Take a few pictures of it swirled, of it, like oozing out of the container. Real pretty, clear close-ups, good lighting, cropped. And I pay for Etsy promotion. So, from a business standpoint, and Etsy now is like, all these smaller shops who want to know the answer to these questions are usually selling on Etsy. They don't have dedicated websites. I still sell on Etsy as well as my website, and I take advantage of the Etsy advertising. So I have my account set to, I don't even know, it may be $3 a day. So at the end of the month, they'll take their fee out of whatever I'm due, but it makes your slime listings come up when someone does a search for slime. And, that's the ugly side of running any type of business. You have to advertise. If you have a restaurant, you need to do a commercial or a flyer. I mean, we have a restaurant. We've always had to advertise to reach people. Otherwise, they won't even know you're there. Yeah. So you may not want to, spend money on advertising on Etsy, but you may have to if you want people to see your stuff and even consider you. And, Etsy offers it because they know it works. You pay them, it could be a small amount, 50 cents a day, but they're going to put your listings up before other people's, and it works. It works. So, I mean, that's the only advice I could really say is great pictures, possibly pay for advertising on Etsy. I mean, if you're serious about your business, sometimes you have to put money out to get back, to get results.
Yeah. And going along those lines, I noticed I had a bit of a slump right around the same time everybody else was kind of feeling it, right around the fall, beginning of the holiday season. And I started a customer rewards program because I have a set of very dedicated and loyal customers that come back time after time, that consistently post videos of my slimes. And I wanted to make sure they knew how much I appreciated that, because no matter how slow the shop is going, I always have this core set of like 15 customers that come back every single time. And I wanted to reward them for that. So I have an ongoing promotion for existing customers that they get 10% off anytime they purchase from my shop. And that boosted sales too, because sometimes, honestly, it's a matter of like how much money you have to spend. If you're going to try and buy from a Famous Slimers restock, but you can get 10% off of mine, that for me, that would make a difference. So I highly advise that.
I lowered my prices a couple months ago, and that made a big difference. I did the math and I said, this is my profit margin. These are my costs. I don't have as many employees now. I'm not paying rent somewhere. And I really said, do I need to charge $13 or $14. No, I can charge 11 or 12. And that made a big difference. And couple that with a coupon or a promotion, which I do from time to time, makes a big difference. Yeah. A coupon definitely works. Promotion or a giveaway. Take some, you know, you made 5 new slimes in your restock. Take 3 of them and say, I'm going to give 3 of these slimes away to, and post a giveaway and say, you have to repost this. All things I haven't done a giveaway in a while, and I was kind of known for doing a lot of them. And I have a basket filled with giveaway stuff. So I think today may be the day, especially, I feel inspired by this, a giveaway.
You heard it here first, guys. Get on Amy's page to see her giveaway. I think the general takeaway from this is work with what you have. Work with the followers you have. Engage with them. Make them feel special. Go on their pages. Follow them back. Engage, and you will slowly build up your audience. And believe me, we all understand how frustrating it is when you feel like you're doing everything and no one is watching or no one is paying attention, or you made 50 slimes and you've sold 5 and they've been sitting on your shelf and you're just staring at them. I know we're running low on time, but like,
I definitely feel like we should do a part 2 to this as well afterwards, because there's so much more I want to cover as well on this topic. It's so interesting, and Amy has provided such amazing insight into this as well. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, this honestly, I do think we should do a part 2. Let us know in the live chat what else you'd like to see answered on this topic, and we'll definitely bring it back, because I think we could go at least another hour on this for sure. So let us know what your questions are. We'll definitely try to do this again on entrepreneurship. I don't want to let the show pass without doing our Slimer shout out of the week. And if you haven't seen one of these Slimey Sundays episodes before, Alyssa and I choose a Slimer that we feel is contributing something amazing to the slime community, whether it's awesome slimes, awesome content, just a great person to have in the community, or all of the above. And so this week we have chosen to shout out Miss Lulu Makes Flicks. If you don't know Lulu, her platform is #kindnesscounts. She puts that above all else. She's always promoting being kind to other people, not bullying people in the comments. And she is just one of the sweetest people I've met in this community.
Lulu she's also very witty and funny as anything. I love her comments and her DMs from her. She always cracks me up.
Yeah.
She's always so positive. She's such a bright light in this community that spreads such positivity. And all of her comments always make me smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to mention, she has run a couple of giveaways I've been a part of. And though she is super sweet and kind, girlfriend runs a tight ship, super organized, and she has really cool packaging. When you order from Lulu, you get this adorable little slime adoption certificate with a little tag that comes with it. It is the cutest thing I've ever seen. So I highly recommend you check out Lulu's feed and her shop. She's just a joy to have in our community, and we thank her for the many contributions she makes to the slime community. She makes it a lot better on a daily basis. Anything you'd like to say in closing, ladies?
No, I just want to thank you guys for including me. And anytime you want me to come back, I'm willing to. I loved it. It was a good experience for me.
Well, thank you so much. We were really lucky to be able to have you. And again, we apologize for the technical difficulties. No. Hopefully everybody just made it in there. Yeah. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining this episode of Slimey Sundays. The recorded version of this episode will be up on my YouTube page. And if you want to check out episodes 1 and 2, they are on Alyssa J's YouTube channel. I have all the information down below for you guys, including a link to Amy's Instagram, her YouTube, and her shop. So definitely check everybody out, and we will see you next time. Alyssa, when's our next show?
It is going to be next week on my channel on January 20th. Yes. I am pretty sure. We'll update you on our Instagram accounts just to make sure.
Okay, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you next time. And hey, I'm restocking in an hour. It's small, so make sure you join. I had to do a little self-promo here. Like, what's the point of having a YouTube channel? You can't. All right, guys, we love you all. Thank you so much, and have a great Sunday. Bye.
Bye.